So there's been an ongoing conversation around Riders Republic. The free trial basically gave everybody a 4-hour window to be able to play the game, and that trial basically has a 1 week extension. So in about a few hours, the trial is going to no longer be available, and the game is going to be fully released. Somebody commented here, very funny comment, and said that they may or may not have formed multiple accounts to play, so they probably got about 16 hours of gameplay from this particular game. Now, I don't blame people. Some people wanted to maximize the trial period. Some people wanted to get the best out of it. Some wanted to maybe use it to master some of the controls and eventually get a better feel for it. Now, shout out to Ubisoft. They were able to hook me up with an extra 4 hours to be able to check out the game. And I also have other Ubisoft accounts that I've used to play other games as well, or maybe the same game twice. So I did have access to a plethora of hours and time to be able to play. But this ongoing conversation, if we would look into it, is one surrounding Riders Republic versus the game Steep. Now, here's the thing that, really does catch my attention is Steep is a very, segmented game. I think it's a game surrounded around a lot of the snowboarding, some of the snow games and all of the above. I've just started getting my hands on it, trying to figure out and get a feel for what the game is about. And I've heard a lot of these different comparisons back and forth. I guess we can do comparisons where Riders Republic and Steep, where Riders Republic and Steep will align themselves. But, it's quite interesting to see whatever it is that's going on in terms of how both games and how both, audiences are looking at it, or how the audience from Steep is coming into Riders Republic. Now, a few more concerns are also, here in this whole conversation. One of the concerns include control schemes, and like I mentioned this in another video, another one included, performance. Now, this is very important because this trial build, is subject to a lot of changes when the game itself comes out. But it's also good to voice these concerns before the developers go ahead and ship the game, because this could be something where in a 24-hour cycle, somebody can actually come up with a patch and a solution for. So as much as we're looking at these different aspects and parameters, it's very good that they were able to bring this trial to the forefront, because all of the feedback, I guarantee, is somehow going to be seen and more than likely going to be worked on. I mean, I'm not saying that, it's going to be worked on, but I'm saying that it's more than likely going to be seen at least or heard. And this is actually a very good thing. So what I'm definitely, paying more attention to right now is to how the game Steep basically sets a foundation for this game, if at all it does. Because from what we're seeing, they're building on a lot of what they've done in the past game, and they're trying to create another game that will pretty much, appeal to a wider audience in a sense, or provide a lot more value instead of it being super segmented and niche like, Steep was. Another really cool aspects that we also have to kind of take into consideration, because a lot of these things are going to be changing in real time, if you were to ask me, is the fact that some players have said, or at least expressed dissatisfaction with the open world system here in Riders Republic. Now, the open world system is actually one of the really huge highlights, and I think the only aspect that they've actually expressed concern is the fast travel system, if I'm correct. Now, you kind of have to consider and think of, what they're trying to achieve here. See, Riders Republic is different in its open world system from, say, a game like Far Cry, or say a game like, any other Ubisoft game that they've done in an open world, where your traversal is actually very different. So I noticed one thing, though. If you fast travel to a game or a location, if you fast travel to an event, it's actually really challenging for you to be able to sometimes track down your location, because, when you fast travel to an area, you're usually around 800 meters away from the event. I think this is probably something that a lot of players have seen, and this is probably where the concern is coming from. And I do somewhat, not 100%, agree as to how the changes need to be made. Maybe you need to fast travel straight to that location. I think the reason they've probably put the fast travel away from the location a little bit is so that you could enjoy, or maybe even get sucked into some other thing. Like, let me give you an example. One of the best stunts that I've done so far was on the way to an event, and I think I spent 30 to 40 minutes just perusing the open world and trying to do more stunts, and then eventually finally made it to the silly event in the very first place. So I think this is probably what they may have been trying to achieve if they were going for something more concrete, or they were going for something that was a little bit more I would say immersive in a sense, because the world just has all of its different parameters that are set differently. So if you make your way to a fast travel location, you'll probably be starting a few hundred meters away from there, and this gives you an opportunity to ride your way down there. It gives you an opportunity to maybe just free run and freestyle, and I think that's one thing that I appreciate. Now I haven't really continued a lot of my in-depth analysis of Steep, so I've seen that it has some of an open world, but I do like the fact that Riders Republic has its own open world system as well, and it gives you the opportunity to be able to do that exploration. But nonetheless, like I said, they're more than likely listening to these concerns. These concerns are more than likely going to be getting some kind of a treatment. They're more than likely going to be getting some kind of an address, at least once they start to communicate with the community. I hope they do that. I hope they have more communication like other Ubisoft studios would do with community managers and developers all of the way out there, because look at their other games, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, look at the other games like what's the name of our Rainbow Six. Ubisoft usually has this communication style with their communities to be able to hear their concerns, and I think Riders Republic is not going to be different. I think they're going to apply that same standard, and that's one thing that I'm looking for, so that our concerns and some of the player issues can be put forth to them, and hopefully they can work on them as quickly as possible. But I want to hear your thoughts about this particular game. I'm excited for it nonetheless. I know my video is a little bit more grimy but I really do want to play this game, and I'm quite excited to see the game come out. So appreciate you guys so much for watching the video. Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll talk soon. Peace out.